Εντάξει, άμα ήρθε και ο Χάρης ο Χρυσάπου, είμαστε βασιλιάδες.
Another minute and see if anyone else joins.
Are we set, Greg?
So we start, we're 5 minutes in.
Yes, sir, we can.
Let's do this. So, hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depends to where you are. Today we have with us Tassos and Petros that will share with us very useful information about how we can use Google Ads in terms of promoting or advertising our business. And before we start, I will let them give us a short introduction about themselves, and then we will delve into the details about Google Ads. So Petros or Tassos, do you want to go ahead?
Sure, thank you, Greg. Welcome, everyone. I can see people from Cyprus, the Philippines. Actually, me and Tassos were currently in Spain. So just a quick introduction about myself. Hi, guys, my name is Petros. My passion and experience in marketing started about 10 years ago when I started working in China in international marketing. And my experience, especially with Google Ads, has been the past couple of years here in Spain, working as a representative for Google and helping marketeers and clients to set up their accounts. So right now I work with different companies that need either marketing training or leadership training. And so my focus is training and coaching. And one of the topics includes marketing as well. One of the things that we do as well with Tassos is at Hive Digital, where we provide clients in Europe mostly with world-class Google Ads consulting, helping them gain more clients and get more traffic through Google Ads. I pass the mic to Tassos, who's actually next to me.
Yeah. You're gonna be hearing me from his microphone and then I'll switch to mine during my presentation. Hi everyone, my name is Tassos. Like Petros mentioned, I'm a Google Ads expert and we've been working together in this project in our agency. I have digital, I manage Google Ads, while Petros manages mostly the business side of things. I met Petros actually also working as a Google rep, so we were colleagues for a while. That's where we met. We became really good friends. We realized that we both share a passion, and we both have an entrepreneurial spirit. So we decided to start on this journey together. I am very passionate about Google Ads. I like seeing the effects of my work on other people and helping them slowly do their business and get the success that they want and meet their business objectives. And I believe that Google Ads is perhaps one of the very important channel that, given it enough time, is going to allow you to achieve those goals. And in this presentation, we're going to go over how can we do this with Google Ads, but not only with Google Ads, mostly in the digital environment, through digital marketing in general. So yeah.
Amazing.
So let's get into it. I will go to the next slide.
Lovely. Great. So just for people to know the agenda for this event, I'll be doing a 10-minute presentation, just introducing the basics of Google Ads and how you can use them and what they are. Then we can have a question from our host. After that, Datos will be doing a 10 to 15-minute presentation as well, which is going to be a bit more advanced. That will have talk a bit more about the strategies in Google Ads and how you can leverage Google Ads for your business, especially if you are a small or medium business, or if you would like to learn more about Google Ads. Still, this is something you can benefit from. And at the end, we're going to have a quick Q&A of about 10 minutes. So we aim to finish within the next 50 minutes. And yeah, and if you have any questions throughout the presentation, either mine or Tassos, you can leave it in the chat box, and we will answer it at the end of each presentation. Great. So just to start with, I'll be talking about the Google Ads basics as we define them here. So firstly, I'll be doing a very small comparison between Google Ads and Meta Ads. So when we say Meta Ads, we mean Facebook and Instagram, and how you can use the different ones and at which stage of the customer's journey or sales funnel you are supposed to use it. Then just some examples of how you can use Google Ads from a very big perspective. Then I'll be speaking a bit about some of the metrics that you need to have in mind when working with Google Ads. And then Tassos will use all of this information to give us specific examples from our clients where we leverage Google Ads to help them generate leads and sales. And it's going to be a bit more technical. I'll be speaking a bit more big picture, a bit more understandable, but throughout the session, feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat. So let's go to the next slide. So just a quick comparison between Google Ads and Meta Ads. As we know, Google is the biggest search engine in the world. So if anyone wants to find something, they can actually type it on their browser. So actually Google is a word that you can use. Instead of saying search on the internet, we say Google sometimes. Even if we use Bing or Yahoo or other search engines, many times we just say Google it or search it. So the essential difference between Google Ads and Meta Ads is that Google Ads is supposed to deliver the ad to the right people at the right minute. So let's say I want to buy an iPhone today. I type on my Google search iPhone, cheap iPhone, Barcelona. And if someone is using that keyword, then it can appear in the search bar of your browser. So that's the key thing that we call user intent. That's why Google Ads can be extremely powerful. While Meta Ads, it focuses on targeting people based on their characteristics, such as their age, where they're based, what kind of interests they have, what kind of pages they follow on Facebook or Instagram. So it's a more, let's say, upper funnel approach that is towards a more general audience. So it's about the user profile or their behavior online. So if they're already following us on Facebook or Instagram, Meta Ads can be a great way to do remarketing, for example. The next slide, please. So again, as reiterating what I just said, so Google Ads is all about using keywords, and by choosing those keywords, we can appear for specific searches online. But also, other than that, we can target people based on their behavior on our website. So let's say someone visits your website and they stayed there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. We can actually track that through Google Ads as well. But the idea is that you can then remarket and deliver ads to specific people that have spent a certain amount of time in your website. So it's very specific to people who you want to remarket to. That's the power of Google Ads. So keywords and remarketing based on your website. And then for Meta Ads, again, more general, it's about what kind of interests they have, and it's more effective for creating awareness in general for your brand and connecting with potential customers that do not know yet about your brand, or they don't know that they need your a specific product yet. But it's more like a chicken and egg thing with Meta Ads. It's like you try to create awareness and you try to not seduce them, but attract them towards your product or service, even if they're not searching for it. Well, the key difference with Google Ads is that they're already searching for it and they're ready to make a purchase, which is not always the case with Meta Ads. Next slide, please. These are the various placements just for you to have in mind. For example, for Google Ads, you can appear on the search bar. YouTube display is an example. Let's say you have different types of websites that, for example, newspapers or other content creation websites that allow companies to add banners on their websites. So you can, while you're reading the news, you can see a real estate ad or a Nike Air Max ad as a picture. That's how display campaigns appear. And then for Meta Ads placements, you can see them all over the different placements that Facebook and Instagram have available. Next slide, please. Just a quick introduction to the marketing funnel or sales funnel. So essentially, there are many different versions of this sales funnel. So, but the basic idea is that the higher you are on the funnel, the more general they are, the more people there are, and the more general it is their interest. So they're not sure if they need your product yet or not. And as you move down the funnel, you move from awareness, consideration, and eventually decision, so where people make a purchase, then that's the lower funnel. So you have top funnel and lower funnel. Top funnel, we treat it mostly with Meta Ads, so that's Facebook and Instagram, so it's a big audience, it's a more general targeting, while most of the times Google Ads will focus on lower bottom funnel, where they're already ready to make a purchase. They know they need, for example, new shoes, or they need legal consultation, or they need some kind of service or product. So they're ready to make a decision. That's where Google Ads come in, and it appears for the right people at the right time. Of course, there are different ways to use both Google Ads and Meta Ads across the funnel, as Tassos will show us. But this is the basic way of introducing, let's say, Meta Ads and Google Ads. So to summarize, Google Ads is about people who are ready to buy or they're researching to buy something. So they're already searching for your product or service, while Meta Ads is a lot more about creating awareness, generating brand or product awareness, service awareness to a target audience that you want to target. Maybe it's a local business, or you want to target specific people in a specific location, or people who have a certain interest or have some certain hobbies, or even your social media followers. So that's the basic use of Meta Ads. Next slide, please. So these are some ways to use Google Ads. So a basic way to use Google Ads is when you want to drive traffic to your website. So if you don't have a website that you own and manage, then you cannot. We don't recommend that you do Google Ads. So for you to use Google Ads, remember that you need to have a website. So the goal of driving more traffic to your website is for them to do something on your website. So to take some action that we call conversions in the real in the Google Ads world. So at the end of the day, if you have a service business, your goal is to generate leads through your Google Ads. So get them to either fill in a form or to click a button or to contact you through email. Or if you have an e-shop, for example, the goal is to generate purchases. So to get them to complete the, do it on your website. So the goal is not to just drive traffic for the sake of driving traffic, but to actually get them to do something that brings value to your company. So secondly, a great way to use Google Ads is to actually see what your competition is doing and how well you appear compared to them when specific people search for specific keywords. It's also a great way to protect your brand name and to solidify the searches that you get for your own specific brand name. So if you go to the next slide, please. Another great time to use Google Ads is when you're running a limited time promotion. So let's say you have a specific sales, maybe you are an airline and you're trying to get rid of air tickets that were not sold, or maybe you're Temu or some kind of other product business and you want to just demonstrate that you have discounts. So that's another time to use Google Ads, but also when you have like a one-time event or a webinar such as this, it's not, again, depending on your industry, as Tassos will explain, but Google Ads in general is a great tool to use if you want to get traffic fast and immediately to your website. Of course, it's paid. It's not something that will happen in the long term. So the idea is to get fast traffic to your website. Next slide, please. Another key time to use Google Ads is when you have rebranded your business, service, product, website, and you want to make sure that people actually find you correct with the new branding. For example, we've been using an email marketing software called Sendinblue. They have rebranded to Brevo. So essentially, and they still use, they say Brevo, previously Sendinblue, but I have seen a lot of ads on the net by them just to make sure that people actually know them now, their new name. So even if they have changed their name, they still use their previous name as a keyword to appear when people search for Sendinblue. So that's another thing to have in mind. And the last point is about stealing competitor traffic, which is, I guess Tassos will share more about that. It's a sneaky way to drive traffic to your website while someone searches for another similar competitor. For example, in this case, a user was searching for fresh books, but the marketeer here used FreshBooks, another brand, to drive traffic to their own website, which is a competitor called Honeybook. So if you would, this again goes to protect your brand name as well. So you might not know it, but some companies might be using your own name, your own brand name, to appear higher than you, even above organic results. Let's go to the next slide. So Google Ads basics, these are some key things that you need to remember to have in mind. Imagine your return on investment is like a three-step ladder. So at the bottom, this is after you, let's say you already set up your campaigns, you're already running them, and then you can see some key results. So these are some of the key results that you need to try to understand as a business owner or a marketeer. So at the lower bar, you have impressions, and that's the number of times your ad appeared. Then the second step is number of clicks. It's how many times your ad was clicked. And actually, you can measure the CTR, which is the amount of clicks according to the impressions. So the higher your CTR, the more clickable your ad is supposed to be. Of course, there are more technical and more advanced ways to explain this, which Tassos can explain further. You have a specific question about that. Then we have conversions, which is what you would like users to do after they visit your website. As we mentioned earlier, if you are an e-shop, you probably want them to make a purchase. If you are, let's say, a legal office, a real estate office, or if you're selling a specific service like makeup, whatever, then you might want them to contact you somehow. So you can choose the types of conversions that you want to track. Then you have CPC, so it's cost per click. Remember, so Google Ads is a type of paid advertising or paid media. So you pay per click. That's how most of the ads work. And then ROAS is the amount of money that you get in sales revenue compared to the amount of money that you spend on ads. So you have a ROAS of 2, then it means that for every $1 that you spend, you get back 2. CPA is the cost per action. So for example, if the action that you would like someone to do on your website is submitting a lead form, then you can actually calculate the cost, how much it costs you to get them to do that action. So this is especially relevant for lead generation businesses. And then lastly is the budget, which is the amount of money that you're willing to spend on your Google Ads. This is something that you can set either daily or monthly. And it's also a very important thing to have in mind because your ads performance depends on the budget that you choose. Next slide, please. Okay, so that was my quick introduction into some basic information that we need to know about Google Ads. Any questions so far?
Just on this one, Petros, what do you think are the biggest misconceptions or common misconceptions that people have when it comes to Google Ads?
So some big misconceptions that people have are that they expect results right on the first day, but normally it takes, how long does it take for a campaign to, let's say, get optimized?
So it really depends, and you're gonna hear that word a lot. Like it depends, and with Google Ads, every use case, every example, every account is different than the previous one. It depends on the budget. Obviously, the more amount you're willing to spend, the faster you're gonna see results because Google Ads work with a very advanced algorithm, and basically it's a machine learning algorithm. So the more data, the more people click on your ads, the more people go through your website and convert, the more information Google is gonna have about people, important people for your business, and it's gonna start optimizing towards that. So it depends on your, like I said, on your budget, but also on other factors that we're gonna talk about a little bit in the next slides. Like for example, your pricing, your offering, all very important things that contribute to Google Ads success. If you're competitive, and also your website. It's like Petros mentioned, website experience is a very having a website functioning website, first of all, in order to run Google Ads is essential. You cannot do it without it. And obviously, the experience of the user on the website is very crucial. So if you send traffic to your website, but your website is not up to date or it's slow, then obviously the visitors are not gonna do what you want them to do, so they're just gonna leave without essentially providing value to your business. So I would say it depends. If you have all those factors checked in, I would say you need about a month of data collection before the algorithm can start getting the hang of what you want them to do. And then you're gonna start seeing some conversion in sales or leads, and obviously through constant and correct management, let's say optimization.
Okay, thanks a lot. That's the answer, Pedro.
Sorry?
Thanks a lot for the answer. Very useful.
Great. Thank you for asking. Any other questions?
think people can raise their hand if they're muted and
Yeah. Don't be shy.
okay. And there are no questions. Let's keep with presentation and then we will give some more time for Q&A at the end.
Okay, sure, perfect. So, as Petros mentioned a lot of important things, general information about how Google Ads works, what's the difference between the platforms, and in general about online marketing. I would just like to dive a little bit deeper, since the focus of this webinar is Google Ads. And perhaps there's people interested about either running their own Google Ads. So I would like to go through a few features, let's say, of the platform that you have to have in mind, and also different strategies that you can use within the platform, but also with other platforms like Meta, for example, and how the two, Google and Meta, can work together in order to help you achieve your goals by covering the full spectrum of people's journey. Because let's face it, if you're on Google searching, you're also on Instagram scrolling, and we'll see how we'll be able to use the two in order to improve our chances of success, let's say. Okay. And also at the end, we're gonna go through and I'm gonna actually show you a few screenshots of our own accounts, and we're gonna show you basically some of the results that we have been able to generate for some of our clients. And based on that, we're gonna be able to give you what are some realistic expectations when running Google Ads for an extended period of time, using good products or promoting good products or good businesses, so you don't get an idea of what's okay, what is a sustainable good result to be achieving. So the first thing, again, we're going to mention is Google Ad campaign types. And if you can switch to the next slide, please. So when we say campaign type, basically it is entity inside Google Ads that dictates where basically your ads are going to appear, and each campaign type has different characteristics. And the most important, the most well known and used campaign type within Google Ads, and this is where the intent that Pedro's mentioned before comes from. User intent, like I want something now. You achieve that through search, Google search. Is the first campaign type you see. So again, person searches for a query in the search engine, for example, plumbers near me. Maybe I don't know, you're having a leak in your bathroom, so you're looking for a plumber. You will search plumbers near me, and then a few search results are going to appear. And based on how much money you're willing to spend within the platform and within the search campaign itself, you're going to appear higher or lower in the search results. Can we skip a few slides so we can actually see some examples of search results? As you can see on the image on the right, we have someone's looking for a master's, and then as they're clicking, they're searching on the search results. We have 4 different candidates, universities essentially, who are advertising. And basically, like I said, generally the person who is willing to pay the most for that click, because again, it's pay-per-click, so the advertiser is charged based on if the person is clicked or not. You're going to appear higher on the search results. Also, other factors play their role. We have a question. Session, maybe. Yeah, we will go through this at the end. Harris, thank you for asking. Once we finish with the presentation, but this is the basic idea of search, right? According to how relevant the search with your ad and the landing page, the page that the person is gonna get to when they click on your ad. Google rewards you with a higher placement on the search result. Okay, so it's not only about budget, it's not only about how much you're willing to spend and how much you're willing to spend per click, but also how relevant is that to the person. Does it answer their pain points, or is it something completely relevant? And also that's one of the ways to increase your metrics, like for example, the CTR that Pedro mentioned before. If many people see your ad but not click it, then you have a low CTR, low click-through rate, and that indicates to Google that, oh, this advertiser, it's not as relevant. So he's going to show you there, you're going to appear even lower. So one of our jobs is to basically show the advertiser as high as possible, in the highest position as possible. If we can go back to the previous slide, because also want to briefly mention about, I mean, search is the most important, and most accounts were running, some of them were running mainly search, because it's all about intent. But also we have shopping campaigns is for e-commerce. It functions a lot similarly to how a search campaign does, but we don't indicate to Google the keywords that are going to appear for online masters. Basically, that whole process happens through our product names. So we would have our Google Ads account connected with a feed, that's how it's called, that has all of our e-commerce products or on that products that we would like to sell online. And then based on their names, if, for example, we have a lot of white shoes, and someone clicks white shoes, and then they're gonna see the image ads on the top of the search results. If we can show that example, if we can scroll, yeah. So as you can see, the bottom image, this is a shopping campaign in action. So someone clicked, for example, I don't know, sneakers, and then a bunch of results appeared. Okay, and again, the most relevant your ads, the higher you're gonna appear in the search results. Okay, this is another example, and going back again to the other campaigns that we have. We also have video display that Pedro's mentioned. Video display can also work outbound, so we can also utilize the meta targeting that we mentioned before through interest, detailed demographics in market. If someone's actively looking, we can skip the whole them searching for a keyword, and then we can appear in front of them with our video ads or our display ads, for example, on YouTube. Because YouTube is a Google partner, we also have access to that inventory while using Google Ads. So you can see how Google gives us a whole spectrum of placements and basically grabbing the user's attention in their journey, wherever they are on the internet. And here again, we can see the stages of the funnel, and we can delve a little bit deeper to how we can utilize each aspect of Google Ads and Meta Ads to catch their user in their stage. So, for example, for awareness, you may have seen a lot of YouTube ads, and some of them are relevant, some of them are not. Again, it's because when you're running YouTube ads, mostly you're casting a wide net and you're trying to reach as many people as possible. And then based on that, you're going to see which group interacts the most and engages the most with your videos. So it's mostly for building awareness for your business. If a person sees a video over and over again, at some point they can get familiar with your brand. And the whole point of that is, okay, maybe they're not going to drive action at the moment, but as we're moving down the funnel, we realize that, okay, if a person has seen our video ads or our reels on Meta many times and different variations of them, and we've spoken to their pain points, they are more likely to consider us later when they're actually in their purchasing phase. So, for example, let's say that we're a 25-year-old person who's done with their bachelor, but they don't know what to do with their life, and they're just looking for other options. If we have seen a lot of university ads of an area that we are interested in, and we have instilled that university, their brand name has been instilled in our brain, then when we're actually looking for masters through Google search, and we stumble upon that university, we're more likely to trust them because we have been, we have seen them before, we know their name, okay? And so, yeah, as we're moving down the funnel, it's mostly gonna be search related through a search engine that will be searching. And also at the very bottom, like Pedro's mentioned, we can use Google and Meta ads for retargeting. So for people who have already been on our website and for people who maybe have already purchased from us. So it's we can say that we can also retain customers that way. If one person has purchased once, but they keep periodically seeing their ads. Seeing our ads on their feed, they're more likely to not forget about our business and potentially buy again. So, we're gonna be able to have a longer lifetime value with that person. So if we can skip on to the next slide.
I'll go through this again.
Sorry. Yeah. Just we mentioned this. If how Google Ad appears. Okay, that if you're gonna be on the top, you have more people are gonna trust the top ads more. So it's generally a good idea to show on the first positions. If you show very low, and then you get clicks, but they're not gonna be the best quality. So especially on leads, click quality is a very important thing. And listing at the top of the search results for important keywords is going to guarantee you better quality. And it's our job to make your ads appear as high as possible, but for the right people. So you're not appearing high for everybody because that would be just a waste. Let's just move a little bit forward. Also, YouTube, like I mentioned, can also function as a search engine. So if you search for a master on YouTube, you're also going to see ads on YouTube that either directs you to a video or our website as well, like you can see over here. Shopping ads as well, we went through that. And let's just skip to the next one. Here, we have a few tools that we utilize in order to, let's say, better form our strategy. One of that would be if you are in a very competitive space and there's already established players in your sphere, you can use one of Google's tools which is called Ad Transparency Center, to see your competitors' ads. Go through them, see what they mention, what they don't mention, perhaps what you can add in order to speak more to the prospecting customers that maybe your competitors have disregarded. So it's a very good tool to do your research. So there's a lot of tools for that. Obviously, within the platform, there's a keyword research tool. So you can check, for example, how much search volume there is for a certain keyword that you want to appear in Google search. In a lot of businesses, for example, we will see that perhaps people are not searching for what you're offering.
Which tool is this? Sorry.
So this is the keyword planner within Google Ads. If people want, we can show it within the platform, but just have in mind that this tool is free if you're using Google Ads. So if people are not actively looking for the product or the service that you're offering, then you can then it would be a good idea to shift your strategy away from search and more towards Meta, for example, and just appear in front of someone with a good message, a clear video, a clear message in your videos and so forth. Yeah, so we can see the different here we can see different variations of, let's say we just search for a company, and their ads, how would they appear to the user appear here. Obviously, they appear in many variations, but we can kind of get an idea of what our competitors using in their ads. So yeah, that's a really useful tool. And here, we just took the time to take a few screenshots from inside our account, so we can basically, maybe if you're not familiar with the environment, we can show you some of the key metrics and how to identify them, the ones that Petros mentioned before, and also some of our success stories and some of the results that appear on the screen here, just to get an understanding of what is a good realistic result, good realistic results that you'll be getting if you are following everything and you're doing a good job running your ads, and also if you actually your business is healthy. So on the first slide, on the first picture, you can see in platform how many clicks has been generated. It's 30,000 within 1 month. So there is like a lot of traffic, a lot of demand for what we were selling during that period. Conversion value is basically the revenue that has been generated through Google Ads. The cost is how much I've spent, how much advertising budget has been spent throughout the time, and the ROAS. Petros mentioned it before. Here it's just called actual ROAS, but it is return on ad spend. It's basically the return of our investment. That if you divide the conversion value by the cost, you will get this number. Actually, you get like a number which will be 6.6, but this is represented as a percentage. So 667%. That meaning that for every 100 euros we have invested, we have spent within the platform, we're getting 667 euros back, which is a very, like I said, it's a very good, realistic result when you're running an e-commerce business. But again, it depends on your section, on your profit margins. So a lot of things to consider. And at the bottom, you can see a graph, basically the different campaign types that we have run during this period. We have mentioned search. As you can see, it's the one with the icon of the search. Yeah, let's stay here. So you can see the search. Again, person types something, our ad appears, like we mentioned before. Also, we have the shopping ads. Like we mentioned how it works with the products. That's their name. I have included, for example, in this campaign, the top products, and because those are the most profitable ones, those are the ones that I wanted to promote. And again, just briefly mentioned it, Performance Max is basically a campaign that includes all of the other campaigns into one, and basically makes your offers, your products appear in every single inventory of Google. So Google search, shopping, YouTube, display ads, and so forth. And you can see some of the metrics that we mentioned: cost, impression, clicks, value in the revenue we generated, the ROAS, etc. And that's a typical e-commerce business. And if we skip to the next slide. Here, again, we can see a simpler account, simpler business that is a transfer business. So we can see that we can actually use Google Ads for a wide spectrum of business types. So we go from e-commerce to this is, for example, luxury transfers to plumbers and roofers. So essentially, every single business type can, in some way or another, be promoted by Google Ads. Not all in the same, but we can utilize the platform in every single business type. And again, a very important metric when it comes to lead generation is the CPA, as you can see on the right. So it's the cost per lead or cost per purchase, how much money you spend in order to acquire one lead or acquire one customer. So it's a very important metric as well. And again, CPC, very important metric as well, is how much you're willing to spend. Basically, CPC is how much you spend for a click, and average CPC is the average of all the clicks that have happened. Again, search impression share is also a very important metric that we didn't mention. It's how often you appear in the search results, because, like I mentioned, the search is an auction. So you won't be appearing every single time someone searches for a relevant keyword, but 70% is the percentage of the times that you will actually be appearing.
So this is search impression share.
Search impression share, yes.
And this is how often we appear when someone searches for a...
how often you will appear. If a person searches 10 times for a certain keyword that you're using, for example, online masters, if you appear 5 times on the in general on the search results, and 5 times you're not, and your competitors do, for example, then you have a 50% impression share. So that's what it indicates. And so as you can see, our performance on all of our clients average to about 5 or 6 is a very, very good result, especially in those industries. Actually, I think here the wrong. Yeah, so just the top part is of another account. But in any case, like I said, for e-commerce, if you have your own products and you're not a reseller, but you also serve your own products, a good ROAS, return on ad spend, would be around 3. Something above 3 is very good. And if you're a reseller, for example, you have very lower margins, then something over 5 is usually really, really good. So let's skip to the next. Okay, here we have included some really useful resources for you. Basically, it's free certificates that Google offers. Meta also has their fair share. So they're all free, and if you want to get certified and start working with Google Ads, I would recommend you take them. They're very basic in nature, and anyone can take them. And you learn a little bit more in depth the things that we have talked about in today's session. So yeah, that's it from my part. We should be, if we have any questions.
I'm sure Google is very grateful for the free advertising you just gave them.
Yep. So I see I'm gonna go and answer Harry's question from before, and then
sure. Let's give the floor to Greg to
yeah.
He can manage us. Let's see.
Sure.
Sure. Before we go to the questions from the audience, you mentioned, Tasso, that there's a case study from an e-shop and then another business that will transfer. But the question from my side would be, in general, from your experience, how do Google Ads create value for business? And what type of business do you think in general benefit from this? I don't know, Petros or Tasso, you can take this one.
Yeah, so the question was, how do Google Ads create value for businesses? So in general, it's any company that has a website, for sure. There's a checklist that you need to have. You need to have some sort of budget that you can use for paid advertising as well. Also, there should be some kind of search volume for your product or service. So if it's super innovative or super unique, maybe it's unlikely that you will see big results with Google Ads. But of course, you need to test it first to see whether it works for you. But essentially, from what we saw with Tassos, many of the companies that we work with, they kind of consider Google Ads as electricity or water. So it's like a very important expense for them that they need to allocate very wisely. So it's very important to either choose a very good Google Ads manager, or to try and learn Google Ads by yourself very, very well. Of course, you're gonna burn a lot of money in the process. But essentially, because many companies are using these advertising methods, it's more like if you don't use this, you are out of the game already. So you really need to use it. It's like many companies have no choice, like e-shops. If they don't have Google Ads, then they won't appear as the shopping ads.
Yeah, so basically there are some businesses, and I do not recommend that you do that, that only, their only source of new clients is Google Ads, and that's not a good strategy. Google Ads is there to help you, and it can definitely help you achieve your business goals and grow your business, but it shouldn't be your only channel of business of customer acquisition. You should be also focusing on your organic ranking on Google, which is SEO, your social media outreach, and posting regularly on social media, and other types of advertising as well. And what we have seen in our experience, in experience of all the other ads managers, is that if you are already established, if you have a very good brand name, if you have brand awareness, people know you, people trust you, you have testimonials, then Google Ads are more likely to succeed. Okay, if someone is entering your site and they're presented with great, amazing content through Google Ads, but they're seeing customer reviews, and you have really good prices, and people have heard of you before, then they're more likely to you're more likely to succeed with Google Ads. That's why the top of the funnel is also very important, and generating that awareness through Meta, Facebook and Instagram, but also through video, for example. It's very important. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Harris, I would like to take a moment to answer his question, because I think it's a very good,
There was a question on the chat, yes, correct.
Yeah. He asks, how can we avoid overspending if we spy on competitors' Google Ads? In other words, how do we pick specific ads on competitors' campaigns? Very good question. If I understand it correctly, Harris, you mean that if for example, sorry, I think
There was another question at the
there was
top.
another question.
Yeah.
Let's answer the first one first. I guess this can be answered. Maybe, but my wife runs a small laser clinic in a village in Cyprus, so I will benefit from Google Ads. Like I said, the most straightforward way would be if there's people searching for your services, that you would be ranking high for those keywords. For example, let's say that this is a laser clinic. I would assume one of the most important keywords for you would be, for example, laser clinics near me. This is a very good one if you're targeting local people. That essentially what you want is for them to visit your physical store or physical business. So keywords like laser near me, hair removal near me, laser clinic near me, etc. It's a very good and powerful way to utilize Google Ads. You can also appear on the Google Maps listings through this way. So, for example, when someone searching on Google Ads, sponsored ads can appear also there. So that's a really good thing to have in mind. And for more general keywords like laser hair removal options. Some people, for example, who are not necessarily looking to get that service right then, but just they're looking for solutions, and you can appear yourself as one of the solutions. This is going a little bit further up the funnel, but maybe it's a good way to get additional traffic and brand awareness, because it's usually cheaper to rank for keywords that are more how-tos and more informational, let's say, so you can appear yourself as a solution. So you can utilize basically all the different ways in your search campaigns. And again, if you are out in a local area with a small population, it would pay to increase your brand awareness by running ads on Meta and on Instagram and Facebook of your services, showcasing good videos, good images, and also through YouTube, through Google by the use of YouTube. So that would be that's how I would go about it. I would visualize all the different channels. And going back to Harris' second question. I assume you mean
Maybe Haris can unmute himself and
Yeah.
ask it again.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for answering the first question. Just to clarify the second question. So I picked up that question from your part where you mentioned about spying on competitors on their Google Ads and maybe, copycatting them. But what happens if a competitor is much larger business than you and they're using way too many keywords or way too many different strategies / campaigns? How do you pick the ones, or how do you identify from your research, from spying on them, which ones would have the highest ROA?
Okay. I think I understand your question. Firstly, when we talked about spying, we use the tool that spies basically on your that showcases how their ads look like, and that is a free tool to use. So there's not a cost associated in that. Just spying your competitors' ads. But I understand what you mean, that basically you have a person who spends a very big amount and they're ranking first very, very often. And that's the tricky thing about Google Ads. It's like if someone is overspending you by a lot, let's say that you have this laser clinic, but there comes a person that for a very important keyword, like for example, laser clinic near me, he's willing to spend €5 per click because maybe they have a very good brand name and they have very high margins. They maybe charge a lot for their service, so they're willing to spend €5 to appear on the first result of search. Then it's not the ideal situation for you because obviously you cannot rank for those, you cannot outbid them in that way. You cannot go and say, oh, I want to pay €6 per click, because you would be very unprofitable and the ROAS would dip significantly and you will have very, very high cost per lead. So I would say the best strategy when dealing in a situation like that is, first of all, there comes the strategy that I mentioned before, that you can run for like more informational keywords. Let's, for example, best hair removal products or hair removal strategies, or run for those keywords because they're usually cheaper, and then you can get people accustomed with your business that way. So in the maybe you can remarket those people later in a cheaper way than just appearing on Google. And you can also, if you have a player business that has a very big brand name and people know it and search it a lot, and so they go on Google and search for example, their brand name. What you can do is you can use it in your strategy and include some of their keywords, some of their brand name as your own keywords. So you also appear when people are searching for them. That's not a very, like Petros mentioned about the strategy, that I wouldn't really recommend if they're a big player, because then they can do the same to you. But you can list, for example, for searches that are a little bit relevant. So for example, if I wanna list for let's say I also sell shoes, I'm not gonna obviously appear in searches that people will look for Nike. But I can appear in searches that people are looking for something more specific. That's, for example, red Nike basketball shoes, for example, if I'm selling the same product. So I think you can do something similar where if your competitor offers a very specific service, So maybe you can include that service plus their brand name, and maybe appear in the search results, and they don't. That's all. That's a strategy. But I would say, to answer your sum up, find those searches that are more cost efficient, that have higher intent. For example, not just laser removal, but maybe armpit removal for women. It's armpit hair removal for women. It's a more high intent keyword. And also informational keywords as well, like best hair removal solutions, for example.
I'm just going to jump in because I think
Yeah.
you already answered Mira's question as well, who says, what are tips you can give for small businesses on a low budget, but get good results from using Google Ads? So the question is, what can small businesses do with a very low budget to get good results from Google Ads?
Yeah, I would say find what your niche is, and what you are really good, what you specialize at, and be like very, very hyper specific about that. Because I assure you there's going to be people who are looking for that solution, and the other players, the other competitors haven't taken that into consideration. Like I said, if you're in the insurance space, for example, which is very, very competitive, I wouldn't even try to to rank for health insurance keyword, because that's very, very competitive, very expensive. I would go for something like insurance, professional insurance for doctors, for example. It would be a much more high intent keyword that's also less competitive. So that's one of the strategies of running Google Ads with a lower budget. Right. Okay. So any more questions from anyone?
I think there was another one as well from Mira. A general question about the marketing industry. She says, since the digital age is evolving fast, more people per year commit to being part of the marketing industry. I would like to ask for your advice on how to stay different and employable to other businesses despite this fast-paced environment. I enjoyed this webinar a lot. Took a lot of notes. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. That's really nice to hear, Mira, that you enjoyed the webinar. And it's very true. I mean, the online advertising space has been getting very, very competitive in the last years. And it's definitely not like how it used to be a couple of years ago. Like I said, best ways to do that is by investing in a lot of content. And what I mean by content is basically creating in different ways brand awareness for your website, for your business. So like I said, having an up-to-date website with all the different information, customer testimonies, up to date and but short and relevant information, and then creating great content in order for in order to showcase your products, showcase your services in a visual way, and then really try to understand your avatar, your ideal customers' pain points. That's what marketing and online marketing should be about. It's about solving very specific problems. If you can really understand their problem and they really speak to that emotionally through your ad copy, basically text on your ads, or through your image ads or videos, if you can really speak to them, to their problems, and how you can help them with their problems, that's, I think, one of the major ways that you can differentiate yourself from everyone else. Because if you go online and search for, in any industry, for any topic, you will see very cookie cutter, like buy now or best that content and ad copy out there. So it pays to just like be a little bit different and actually understand your customers' objectives, what they actually need. Yeah, I would say that's, and also invest in your website and make sure it works properly.
Maybe just to to add on that, my understanding is that Mira is also asking about how to differentiate herself as a marketing professional, right?
Oh,
So, I mean, Google Ads is always changing, and there are a lot of updates to the software, to the algorithm. So, if you would like to be a leading marketeer, then you really need to be learning all the time. Just keep up to date with the industry news, and I have a lot of experience, practical experience with different types of businesses, because eventually every marketeer can have like an expertise in different types of companies, right? It's very it's not very common to have a marketeer who can do all of the different, advertise all different types of businesses in the equal way, right?
yeah, I would say find something, again, find an industry that you're interested in and that you have seen good results, and then maybe really deep dive and focus on that. And so find your niche essentially, as if you're a marketing professional, find your niche, and then when you find that niche, and then you're constantly every day learning about that industry, about that niche, as well as improving your knowledge of marketing and Google Ads as a whole, then I think you're gonna find best success. And yeah, like Pedro's mentioned, it's a fast-paced, ever-changing environment. So stay up to date. For example, LinkedIn is a very good source of information if you follow the right people. I follow many experts on LinkedIn, and I browse daily, and it's really good information, and that would be the main way, by staying up to date with all the latest releases and platforms and so forth. Was a question?
Yeah. What budget do you recommend to use when doing Google Ads, and how can we calculate the right budget amount for our business?
I think that's the most common one.
Yeah, that's one of the most common questions that clients have, and not just clients but also managers. It's like, oh, what budget should I use? And that's a big. It depends. It really depends. It depends on the industry that you're in, the competition. So many different factors. So I don't have a clear answer on that. Unfortunately, with Google Ads, if you don't test it, you will not know. Period. So take a budget that maybe you're comfortable into investing, because again, it's an investment. You have to try it, and maybe it doesn't work out, but just take a budget that you're comfortable with. And again, my suggestion would be to give it at least 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 months, in order to actually see if it's working, if it's gonna work or not. I would say anything under €5 per day. Like I wouldn't run ads on search, for example. Maybe you can add remarketing if you have already existing website traffic. So you can just show ads to those people that are already on your website, are already hot, and you can do it very cheaply with sometimes under €5 per day. So I would start there if you have a limited budget, and obviously if you have more room, then I would add more budget into something more cold, like someone searching for your solution but they don't know you.
So budget is king, huh?
Yeah, and obviously there's in-app metrics that can kind of signal you that, oh, you need to add more budget, or if you, for example, have a very low impression share. If your impression share is 10%, let's say that you're appearing only 10% of the times that someone types, searches, then that's an indication of your budget is very, very, very low. Also, Peter showed a tab of the auction insights. You can see all the people, all the businesses who are ranking for the same keywords that you are on search. So if you see yourself that you're listing like you're ranking very, very low, and that's also an indication that you probably have to either increase your budget or try different strategy because you're not going to be viable in the long term. So it really depends. I would say for certainly something over 10 euros per day as a minimum. But again, really depending on the industry.
So around 10 euros minimum.
Yeah, I would say that's a very, very bare minimum for any business.
Okay, thank you. Another question. What excites you the most about working with Google Ads or in general working in marketing?
Like okay, for me, marketing, I love the smiles on the clients and our partners when we help them get more clients, and especially when they're very early in their Google Ads journey, and they use it for the first time and they see that it actually works. They are amazed. It's like magic. I also love trying to explain how the marketing works, how the Google Ads work. So that makes me feel that I'm not just helping them make more money, but I'm also helping them to learn something new, but also understand what we're doing for them and kind of how it works. So it's not like I am leading them blindly. I try to explain in a very simple way what we're trying to do. That's us.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I would say the same. That it's very nice to see that your work actually has a real world impact on people's business, and as well as I am a very number-oriented and analytical person. So for me, what excited me the most is just digging around into an account and reading all the different data and trying to understand it and interpret it and then take action based on my findings. So I would say that's one of my the things that make me happy working with Google Ads is like all the different ways I can interpret data and then use the data in order to better this system that at the end it's gonna start working and generating results. Yeah, another thing is like you get to learn about different businesses that you would have never interacted in the past. So you end up becoming an expert on a certain field that you never knew you would have gotten into before in the past, and that's really nice experience to have, and to kind of see how different businesses operate and function hands-on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's like I would say it's like consulting. It's like when you do Google Ads or any sort of marketing for a company, you really need to understand their company, their processes, like how they sell, especially if it's a lead generation business, right? Because sometimes it's like you really need to help them revamp their whole sales funnel. So that's why they need to start asking the clients that call them, okay, where did you hear about us? Was it Google Ads? Was it Instagram ads? Where did you find about this? So they start tracking this. So it's also like educating the client and helping them improve the way they do business, because it's something quite new for especially traditional types of businesses, but very, very beneficial if they do it properly. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you,
You're
guys.
welcome.
Any other question from the audience or? I think Petros, we share the contact details, so if people want to connect with you or Tasos can do it, you ping your emails also in the chat. And I hope this is the first of many, and I hope that people found it also useful.
Definitely.
Great.
Very excited for the future.
High five, Tasos.
Yes, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to send us an email. You can find us also on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
Have a nice weekend, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.